We are moving to... Okay, hi guys, it's freaking hot out here in the garage, so we're gonna move settings. Hold on just a sec. That's much better. We didn't even plan that, that was cute.
So shiny.
So shiny. Hello, welcome back to the channel.
What up, nerds?
If you're new here, I'm Maile.
And I... Eric.
Okay, you haven't done that in a while. And if
You're
you're new here, hello, welcome. What an interesting video to start on, but we're about to embark on a journey and we invite you to come along. Also, we are trying really hard to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So click that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Did you know that was my goal?
Nope.
It's like a new thing I'm trying to like encourage people to subscribe because I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's do it. And like this video while you're at it. Okay, our big news. We teased it in last week's video. We've been thinking about it for a while. Yes, we are moving. We are moving. We're so excited. We're not going to tell you where quite yet. We will tell you in this video. But we want to give you a little backstory and a little history and context before we tell you where we're going. So, for a brief history, Eric and I got married in 2016. We've been married for 6 years. We spent the first 3 years of our marriage in Shawnee, which is where I am originally from. Most of my family is there. In 2019, my family, my immediate family, decided to move to New York, as you guys know. And if you don't know, I just said it, so now you know. So they decided to move to New York for my sister so she could pursue opportunities in acting, singing, and dancing and get really good training there. So they are in New York. I go up to New York 1 week out of every month, pretty much, give or take a few months here or there. So I get to see my family because we're all very, very close and it is a nice happy medium. So they moved to New York in 2019. We sold our house in Shawnee. I'll link the video here if you haven't heard our house selling nightmare. It was awful. And it's terrified us of ever buying a house again, right? Mm-hmm. We then moved to Edmond for 6 months. And we lived with my dad half the time because he was in New York some, but had to stay in Oklahoma for work. So we moved up there to help him keep the house and, you know, do his laundry and go grocery shopping, make sure the house stayed clean. So we moved to Edmond for 6 months. Then we moved to Oklahoma City and lived in Oklahoma City for 6 months. We rented from my dad, which, by the way, just for my own pride and reputation, not that anyone really cares, but I do want to say, we were rent-paying livers. Like, we didn't move to Edmond rent-free with my dad. We paid rent in Edmond, and when we moved to the house that he owned in Oklahoma City, we paid rent at that house as well. So I'm just a very independent person, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea that, you know, we were just mooching off my dad or something like that. But, so it was a very, like, good situation. My dad, when the housing market was booming, saw the opportunity to sell the Oklahoma City house. We were totally fine with that because there were some things about that. It was a beautiful, gorgeous house. We really liked it, but it was a lot of house and a lot of maintenance. Mm-hmm. We were happy to look for a new place to live and my dad to list that house. It was kind of the best of both worlds for everybody. So that's what we did. And then you want to take over from here because I've been talking so much.
We found this house in Yukon, and we moved here, and we've been here for 2 years now. 2 years. And we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed living here. Yeah. The house is great. Yukon was a lot better than what we kind of expected when we first moved here.
And if you aren't an Oklahoma person, Yukon is essentially a suburb of Oklahoma City. Yeah. It is like a up and coming, like new young family town. It's a city in development, okay? Yeah. It was honestly a great place to be for 2 years. Yeah. And we had been thinking for a while that we wanted to make this move that we are currently making to the location yet to be determined.
Announced. We have determined where we're moving.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean. So we had thought, okay, what we're going to do is we are going to sign 1 more year lease on this house that we're currently in. Our lease is up in September, the end of September. And so we thought, great, we'll sign another lease and then we will make our move after a year to the place that we decided to make our move to.
Yep.
And that's the plan, that's what we're gonna do. But then it all got thrown out the window.
Yep.
In typical Maile and Eric fashion, we made a decision and then things just fell straight into place extremely quickly in a stressful but awesome way.
So yeah, we had just kind of, circumstances came up, an opportunity came up to where it was like, holy crap, we can make this move
right now.
Right now.
And the reason we decided to wait a year initially was because the place that we're going doesn't have many rentals available to our like quality and needs and
we
size.
We both work from home, so we need a certain size of house, and
So we didn't even think renting was possible. So we thought we'll wait a year, we'll save up money, we'll take it slow, and we'll be ready to buy our dream house in a year in this location. But then one house magically popped on the market that totally works.
Ticked
and we
all the
were like,
boxes.
why not just make the move now? Why not just pull the trigger and freaking do it? So we are moving to Shawnee. Which
Big
is
reveal.
so crazy. I know everyone probably thinks it's New York.
Yeah.
To all you Shawnee people watching that have not heard the news, you're welcome.
Coming back. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly been, from every person that I've talked to, the immediate response is, well, I figured the next big announcement would be New York. Like,
you guys are moving to New York.
So.
Your family up and moved to New York, so why don't you?
Yeah.
And just to address that really quickly, like, probably the first year and a half that they moved to New York, I was dead set. Like, we will be there, we are going, we are doing it. I don't care how unrealistic it is. Like, I don't care. I just want to be with my family. That's where I want to be. But recently, I have just been feeling, because of the kind of hybrid situation that we have thankfully been able to make work with me being able to go to New York frequently and see my family, it's just felt like a really nice happy medium, like a really good balance of I see them, I'm in their lives, I can be part of things, but I can still come back to home base where the rest of our entire community is and where it's not freaking expensive as all get out to live and where it's a place where we can have plenty of room for our dogs. So that's been such a happy medium that, and who knows what my parents will do. You know, Tatum's a senior this year and they may stick around forever. They may come home in a year or two, who knows? So we didn't want to make a very permanent move and then have my family come back home after a year or two, you know? So it just wasn't in the cards and we've found this really great happy medium that totally works.
Yep.
And so it's just been really nice. That's why we're not going to New York. So let's tell you a little bit why we are going back to my hometown, Shawnee.
So I think since the day we moved to Edmond, I was just like, I want to be back in Shawnee.
And I, on the flip side, was like, I got to get the frick out of this place. And it wasn't, honestly, there wasn't any drama. There wasn't any, it's just something about your hometown where you've lived your entire life. Like, I was just at a place in life, my family had left, and I was like, deuces. Like, I need to be separated from this place, from my hometown.
Well,
and I'm so glad that we had those 3 years where I got to be separated and I got to live a life outside of knowing every single person at the grocery store.
And that's what I was going to say, is you really relished the initial anonymity that you got of like going to the grocery store and nobody wanting to talk to you. Not that you don't like talking to people, but just it was a new novel thing for you that you had never had. And
another thing that's probably an important part of the journey is COVID hit in the middle of us moving. And so we had all these great, awesome plans of we're going to be really social and go out and meet new people and try new things. And we physically could not do that because Eric was high risk and we just had to stay home and do nothing. So, you know, all this time we could have been living here and building community and going out and trying new things. We just didn't. And so I think that was a big impact too, to ultimately never feeling like this was really home.
Yeah. And so on my end, like I've always, anytime like when we were dating or just anytime the conversation of like, if you wanted to move somewhere, where would you want to move? My response has always been like, I don't really care that much about the location. It's the people. Like I want to be around people that I enjoy being around and can spend time with. And so, you know, you go to New York 1 week out of every month and I drive to Shawnee like 3 or 4 nights out of every month to go like hang out with my friends and see people and stuff like that. Yeah. So I've been wanting to go back to Shawnee for
ever
a while, about 3 years now. So, so I guess we can kind of tell the story about you coming around to the idea.
So I literally...
Just to give you an idea of the timeline, which was about a month and a half ago.
We are such freaks. So literally I was like, no, I will never go back there. I will never go back there. Why I felt so strongly about that, I couldn't tell you. With COVID and with moving far away, I had lived in this natural state of no one come near me, no one talk to me, I'm good, all by myself on my little island. And that took a while to break and to realize maybe that's not the most healthy version of life you could be living. And I think a lot of it too had to do with coming to grips with the fact that my family left, and my family is such a big part of my community and who they're my people, that I felt a little bit like I needed to put my life on pause, not because of anything they did or they said. They didn't have any, control over me in that way, but me personally, I just subconsciously, I think, decided to press pause because they left. And, that's not super great to do. And so I've had lots of these like really great transformative revelations and experiences that have kind of helped me work through all this in my brain, and
conversations with someone.
It just felt a call to, build more community. And so a few months before we decided to do this, we had intentionally made the choice to reach out to some people and start
spending more time
with people, trying to be more social, trying to build back a sense of community that we felt like we had kind of lost through the pandemic and everything. And that has been so awesome. So awesome. And it's funny how things just kind of fall into your lap once you open yourself up to, putting yourself out there. Like, people follow, and it's been just so great and wonderful. So the moment that it happened.
Okay, so many things in our lives. The thing responsible for this decision is Shawnee Little Theater, the community theater that we met at, got engaged at, and got married at, and have both been very involved in.
I've lived my entire life. My family has done it for generations.
They did a production of Legally Blonde that we went and saw, and I don't think we missed hardly maybe a single show since we left Shawnee. And before, when we would go see shows, we would just dip out immediately because, we were masked up, still concerned about my well-being with COVID. But now, I'm double vaxxed, I'm boosted, so...
You've had COVID, so...
I'd had COVID at that point, so we still had the alleged immunity window.
So anyway, at the end of a show, the cast will remain on stage, and the audience comes, and everybody knows everybody in Shawnee, so you congratulate them, and you tell them how great they were, and you have fun talking to the cast.
So Legally Blonde was the first show that we did that we decided, let's go down and, half of your family that is still in Shawnee was in the show.
Yeah.
So we went down and talked to people, and when COVID hit, we were in the middle of co-directing the musical Hunchback of Notre Dame that got shut down, and we never got to finish it. I bring that up because a few of the cast members from that show were in Legally Blonde, so we were sitting around talking about Hunchback and kind of nostalgic and reminiscing, and before we knew it, all the rest of the audience members had left. Only the cast was left. Half the cast was gone. And the artistic director of the theater that we're both really good friends with is locking the back door and turning the lights on. It's like, wow, we have stood around talking to a half dozen people.
We're exiting through the back door with the cast.
An hour after the show is done. And so it was just so fun to reconnect with those people, because some of them we hadn't really talked to since we left. And then we get in the car and drive home, and Maile is in the passenger seat and I'm driving, and what did you say?
I said, okay, what I'm about to say is not set in stone in any way, but I feel as though I need to express how I'm feeling in this current moment, but just so you know, I am reserving the right to change my mind before I say what I'm about to say, but I think we need to move back to Shawnee.
And you asked me something about is that crazy? Because I remember responding to you I've wanted to move back to Shawnee since we left Shawnee. No, I don't think that's crazy. I totally understand. Yeah. We're finally on the same page about something.
We're on the same page about so many things. What are you talking about?
So that was kind of when the snowball started rolling, and we as soon as we got home, pulled up Zillow and looked at the rental market and went, oh no.
Yeah, there's not a house for us here
we gotta buy.
Rent. And we do not want to buy a house in the market right now.
Yeah, the market's,
we're really scared of the market.
But we even went to a credit union to like meet with a mortgage person to like talk through options and so like we were
fully planning to buy a house in a year.
But yeah, and since we made that decision, one of my favorite moments. So we had also decided, let's not tell anyone. Let's not tell anyone. Just so it can be kind of a fun like surprise. When it happens. Mm-hmm. And so we told like a few people.
Like maybe like 3.
Yeah.
Besides our families.
But we had also seen a house listing that we knew the person who had the listing and your dad knew him. And so like through your dad, we asked him a couple questions about like the house. And so we went over to some friends' houses in Shawnee.
Completely unrelated.
Yeah. And one of them said, so I hear that you guys are thinking about moving back to Shawnee. It was like,
how do you know?
Are you kidding? And it was just like, yeah. So
every person we have run into from Shawnee since then has been like, so when are you guys planning to make the move? And we're like, how the frick did you hear? It's so funny. So it's the worst kept secret right now. But I don't know, maybe you're from Shawnee and watching this and you didn't know, so surprise.
Nobody really knows that we're like,
doing
moving
it
back
now.
Imminently.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people have heard that in a year or two.
Like you guys, August 6th. Today, for context, if you're watching this after the fact, is July 21st. We're moving in
weeks.
16 days.
Yeah. It'll stretch you out.
We're moving in 16 days.
Yeah.
Long story short, short story long. We are moving to Shawnee, back to our community, my hometown, in 16 days.
But you know what that means for you all? You get another
so much
empty house
content
tour,
coming up.
like room by room design.
And you guys, what I will say about this house is it is not perfect, which was really hard for me. As you know, I'm very persnickety about the state of my home and the aesthetic of it all. I made some compromises on not the quality. The quality of the house is great. It's extremely well taken care of. It's a perfect size. It's in a great neighborhood. It's gonna fit us perfectly, but it is a little dated. And I'm gonna do some really fun videos about making the best of your space when it's not perfect, when maybe there's an eyesore and what to do about it. I've got a lot of really good ideas about making this house our own and just leaning into the kind of unique dated aspects of it. Because it's a rent house, we're gonna change minimal things because it's not our house. We don't want to spend thousands of dollars making it exactly what we like and then moving. That makes no sense. So it's gonna be interesting. Stay tuned because house tours coming, moving vlogs are coming. It's gonna be a whirlwind of the next few weeks and we're gonna bring you guys along for every single second of it. So again, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Subscribe, please.
And you know what the best part is? This one's abandoning me for like 7 of those 16 days.
That's another thing. I've got a vlog coming up with all the Hopkins family in it because they're coming next week actually for Tatum to do something special in Oklahoma. So just get ready for all the vlog content, all the Hopkins family, all the packing, organizing, setting up a whole new house. It's gonna be so much fun. This is my favorite kind of thing to do. I love a change like this. I love a totally new space and getting to play around and be creative and do new things, and I love that. So I'm really looking forward to it, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, bye.